Hey guys, it's your girl Mrs. Island Breeze, and I'm here to share my top 5 tips for surviving Thanksgiving Day. I know that you have probably put a lot of work into getting up to this point, calling and finding out who's coming over, who's bringing what, who's responsible for the turkey, and the big day is finally here. So before it finally becomes Thanksgiving Day, I just want to share some tips to help you have some smooth sailing. Tip number 1. Prep as much as you can the day before Thanksgiving. Anything that you can peel, chop, slice, dice, mince, and have already set aside and prepared will really help you have a much smoother time as you go into Thanksgiving Day, because there's a lot that's going to be going on in the kitchen, so it'll be really helpful so that you can just grab and add. Tip number 2. Be sure to have some snacks available for your guests, your kids, your spouses. Everyone's trying to get in the kitchen and have a sneak taste of what you're preparing, and that can really slow you down. But we understand they're excited and waiting for the big meal. So meals that you do not have to cook, a nice charcuterie board, maybe some chips and salsa and guacamole. Those kinds of things are the perfect snacks to kind of have around the house so that it keeps people out of the kitchen and out of your way. Tip number 3, delegate. You know your family members and friends best, which means you know who is great in the kitchen and who isn't. So, to the extent that you decide to delegate tasks, which can be incredibly helpful, make sure that you delegate appropriately. If you know someone might not be the best on the stove, maybe you want to have them grate the cheese instead. However you want to do it, but don't be afraid to ask for help. There's no shame in that. Tip number 4, stick to the menu plan. I know it can be tempting. You're going through your Facebook feed and you're seeing all these beautiful pictures and holiday ideas, your Instagram feed. You've got people like Mrs. Island Breeze throwing up raspberry cheesecake, which is delicious, by the way. But Thanksgiving Day is not the time for ad hoc additions. Stick with the plan. No throwing things in at the last minute. You've worked hard to plan this out, and it's a good one. So just stick with it and hang in there. Tip number 5, turn up the tunes. If you are responsible for the bulk of the cooking on Thanksgiving Day, odds are you're going to be up before anyone else and you're going to be going to bed after everyone else. It's a long day. Get you a good playlist or 2 or 3 to help you power through. And no, I am not adding to the list of things you have to do. There are plenty of awesome playlists available for a variety of musical tastes on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, whatever your source for streaming music is. So go ahead later tonight, pick out a few, add them to your favorites list, and just let them run. Now, I know I said 5 tips, but I have a bonus one, and I think it is probably the most important one of this video. It can get really crazy when everyone's over and you're in the throes of the kitchen just trying to make sure that everything is done and everything's on the table by the time you told everyone they were going to eat, because they're going to be looking at you when that clock strikes 6 or whatever time you told them you're going to eat. But I want to encourage you all to take a moment to really enjoy the process. I don't know how things work in your family, but in my family, as we've gotten older and we've all started our own lives and moved to different ends of the world, really, the only time we really get together for big gatherings tends to be weddings and, unfortunately, funerals. And we've started to really think about ways that we can get together outside of that, because when we are together, whether it's for something exciting like the birth of a new baby, or it's for something that's rather sad and supporting each other with the loss of a loved one, whenever we are together, it's an amazing time. And so if you're like me and that's not something that happens often because your family's spread out all over the world, this is a really awesome moment. So I know it's tempting to want to have the Instagram-worthy photos of your food or the picture-perfect meals spread across the table, but don't lose sight of what this is really about. Make sure that you're enjoying that time, that camaraderie with your family and friends. I want to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving from my kitchen to yours, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.